Okay, let's get right to it. You've just wrapped up that informative synthesis essay, right? You
Yeah.
waded through all those
Yeah,
sources.
got the lay of the land.
Exactly. And now, boom, the argumentative essay assignment hits, and it feels different.
It definitely is a shift. You're moving from just presenting information, like objectively,
Uh-huh.
to actually taking a stand, picking a side, and arguing for it.
And that leap, well, it can feel pretty big. So that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Mm-hmm.
This deep dive is really geared towards the students in Kelly's freshman Comp 1 class. You know who you are over at kelli.ninja.
Right. We want to help you see what this essay is all about.
Yeah, how it actually flows from the work you already did on the synthesis and, give you some solid ways to build a strong argument.
And we've got some good resources to guide us. We'll be pulling from the transcripts of Kelly's YouTube videos.
The Kelly Ninja channel, yeah.
Uh-huh. Specifically ones like 1301 Milna W, Mon May 5, 1301 TT, Therme 1, and especially that argument essay final review one. Lots of good stuff in there about the assignment itself and just, well, arguing effectively.
Definitely. And we've got the actual argument essay assignment.pdf right here so we can hit all the specific requirements. No guessing.
Good. Plus, we're dipping into a guide to rhetoric, genre, and success in first-year writing.
Oh, yeah, the textbook. Chapter 8 is key, right? The sections on argument structure, evidence.
And handling counter-arguments. Really foundational stuff for this assignment.
And critically, we've also got that argument essay prewriting2.pdf.
Yes, that's the bridge. That's the piece designed specifically to help you move from the informative to the argumentative mindset.
And we'll quickly touch on the formatting stuff too, APA style. Purdue OWL, the Great Writing 5 Guide on Citing, because that's the standard you need to follow.
Right. Can't forget the details.
So look, if building an argument feels a bit, I don't know, intimidating right now.
Perfectly normal.
Yeah, don't sweat it. We're going to break it all down. Show you how your synthesis essay is actually a huge head start.
It really is.
And give you the techniques to make this feel not just doable, but like, okay, I can actually do this well.
Let's start right there with that connection because it's so important, this argumentative essay. It's not starting from zero.
Not at all. It really grows right out of the research and the understanding you already built for the informative synthesis.
Exactly. Think of all that work you did exploring the topic, finding sources, understanding different viewpoints. That's your foundation.
And that argument essay, pre-writing, #2sheet, that's your toolkit for building on it.
Precisely. It guides you in taking the info you already gathered and starting to shape it, to find your own position within it.
I like how the argument essay final review transcript puts it, leveraging prior work.
Yeah.
It talks about seeing your informative essay as a pool of evidence. You've already filled the pool, basically.
Right. Now you're just deciding how you want to use that water, so to speak. The pre-writing guide says you need to thoughtfully select and arrange the material you have.
It's not just copying chunks over.
No. It often means some restructuring, maybe reorganization. You're picking specific pieces and arranging them strategically to support your specific point.
So the first step, according to that pre-writing guide, is really to go back to your informative essay. Look at it again.
But with a new question in mind.
Yeah. What were the different perspectives you laid out? And then this is the crucial part. Which one resonates most with you? Which one do you actually find most compelling? And why?
That's the pivot point. You're shifting gears from being a neutral reporter to being an advocate. You're picking a viewpoint and saying, okay, this is the one I think is most important or most valid, and here's why.
The example they give comparing thesis statements makes it super clear.
Oh, yeah, the learning one.
Yeah. The informative might be something like, online and in-person learning offer different educational benefits and disadvantages. Just states the facts, right?
Totally neutral. Balanced.
But the argumentative version, despite technological advances, in-person learning still provides superior educational outcomes for most undergraduate students.
See? Bang. Takes a clear stance, makes a claim. That's what the whole essay will now have to back up.
Big difference. Okay, so you've done the pre-writing, you've looked at your synthesis, you've landed on a position, your claim. Now, how do you actually build the argument itself?
Right. Let's pull from a guide to rhetoric here. The starting point is that thesis statement, or as we're calling it now, the claim.
The engine of the essay, you said.
Exactly. It's the core idea, the main point, everything else serves to support. And the guide is really clear. It's never a question.
Always a statement.
Always a declarative statement. Usually pops up near the end of your introduction. It's like the signpost for your reader, telling them exactly where you're going to take them.
And in this kind of essay, it's your specific position, the thing you want the reader to buy into.
And the guide mentions different types of claims, which can be useful to think about, like Are you arguing for a specific action? That's a claim of policy.
Or saying something is good or bad.
Claim of value. Or defining something, claim of definition. Or arguing one thing causes another.
Cause and effect. Right. Knowing that helps you figure out what kind of proof you need, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Helps you focus your strategy. Okay, so you've got your claim. Now, the body paragraphs. That's where you build your case piece by piece.
And the assignment sheet in Kelly's videos lay out a pretty standard structure for these, right?
Yeah, pretty standard. Start with a topic sentence that's like a mini claim for that specific paragraph, and it clearly links back to your main thesis.
Okay. Then you bring in your evidence, stuff from your research.
Right. Quotes, data, summaries from your sources. But, and this is maybe the most critical part.
Don't just drop it in.
Exactly. You cannot just parachute a quote in and assume the reader gets why it's important or how it connects. You have to explain it.
That's the warrant the final review transcript talks about.
That's the warrant. It's the logical bridge. You have to explicitly show the reader, here's the evidence, and here's how it supports the point I'm making in this paragraph.
You got to connect the dots. Spell it out.
Spell it out clearly, guide the reader's thinking, don't make them guess. And then you usually wrap up the paragraph with a sentence that reinforces the point and maybe links to the next one.
Okay, makes sense. Now, about that evidence itself. A Guide to Rhetoric stresses using valid and credible evidence.
Yeah, you can't build a strong argument on shaky foundations. Your evidence has to be solid. And it notes that what counts as solid evidence can sometimes vary between different fields, different academic disciplines.
So like scientific data versus historical documents versus literary analysis.
Right. You use what's appropriate for the kind of argument you're making. But the core idea is quality and reliability.
And the final review video warned about just, quote, dumping too.
Definitely. Evidence needs context. It needs explanation. It has to be accurate, actually relevant to the point you're making, and sufficient to support it.
The rhetoric guide even has a section on failures in evidence, right? Section 8.5.
Yep. Things like using inaccurate info or twisting what a source actually said, or just awkwardly jamming a quote in where it doesn't quite fit.
So the takeaway is, choose good evidence, integrate it smoothly, and always explain how it supports your claim.
Always explain. Make the connection explicit.
And there was that interesting tip in the final review about the word proof.
Yes. Be cautious with proof. It implies absolute certainty, which is rare in academic arguments.
So better to use words like
indicates, suggests, maybe supports the idea that, or points towards a likely trend. It's more nuanced, more accurate for most academic claims.
Okay. Thesis, body paragraphs, evidence.
Right.
What's next? The counterargument.
Crucial. A really strong argument doesn't just ignore opposing views. It acknowledges them and responds to them.
Right. The assignment sheet mentions it. The rhetoric guide discusses it. Kelly's videos emphasize it. It seems really important.
It is. It might feel weird at first, why would I bring up reasons against my own point?
Yeah.
But doing it actually makes your argument stronger. It shows you've really thought about the issue from multiple sides.
Builds credibility. Shows you're being fair and intellectually honest.
Exactly. The final review transcript even suggests actively trying to think like someone who disagrees with you. Play devil's advocate. What would their best arguments be?
And then you address those arguments head-on in your essay.
You introduce the counterargument. Clearly, there are even guides with helpful transition phrases for doing that.
Okay.
And then critically, you respond to it. You don't just state the opposing view and leave it there.
You have to refute it or explain why your point is still stronger.
Precisely. The rhetoric guide emphasizes that your response needs to show the reader you're not suddenly agreeing with the opposition or giving up on your own claim. You're showing why, despite that other viewpoint, your argument holds up.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So let's pivot slightly to the nuts and bolts, the specific requirements for this essay in Kelly's class, based on the assignment sheet and the videos.
Well, the core structure reflects everything we've just talked about. You need that introduction ending with a clear, argumentative thesis.
Right.
You need body paragraphs, each with its own supporting claim, good evidence, and that all-important explanation connecting the evidence back to the claim.
Check.
You absolutely need that counter-argument section where you present and respond to an opposing view, at least one significant one.
Got it. And a conclusion.
And a conclusion that wraps things up, maybe restates your thesis in a new way, leaves the reader with a final thought, standard essay structure, but with that argumentative focus.
And the formatting can't forget that.
Nope. APA format is required. That means how you format the paper itself, your in-text citations, and that references page at the end.
Kelly's videos mention this, and it's standard academic practice. So for in-text, it's author and year.
Author, year, and page number if it's a direct quote. The Great Writing 5 source has guidelines on that too.
And all the nitty-gritty details, the rubric, the specific instructions, tip sheets, that's all on kelli.ninja.
That's your home base. The 1301 TTT2 May 6 transcript mentions reviewing the rubric there. You absolutely need to go to the website and read everything carefully.
Good advice. And don't forget the support systems.
Definitely not. The University Writing Center is a fantastic resource.
They can help with organization, thesis statements, checking your APA citations, grammar, the whole deal.
And Kelly holds work sessions too, right? Where you can ask questions directly.
Yeah, the 1301 TTT2 May 6 transcript mentions those. Huge opportunity to get specific feedback. Use those resources.
Please do. They're there to help you succeed.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the general process someone might follow to put this all together.
All right, step 1. Go back to that informative synthesis. Read it through with an argumentative eye. Find the potential positions.
Step 2. Choose your position. Write a clear, specific, argumentative thesis statement, your main claim.
Step 3. Go back through your research, the stuff you already have, and select the best pieces of evidence to support each part of your argument. Organize it.
Step 4. Draft your body paragraphs. Start each with a topic sentence linked to the thesis, bring in your evidence, and then crucially explain how that evidence proves your point.
Step 5. Figure out a strong counterargument. What's a significant objection someone might have?
Step 6. Write out your response to that counterargument. Show why your position is still the stronger one.
Step 7. Write your introduction, making sure the thesis is clear, probably at the end, and your conclusion, summarizing, restating the thesis differently.
Step 8. Citations. Make sure every source is cited correctly in APA style, both in the text and on the references page.
And remember, step 9, maybe, revision.
Yes. Good point. Writing is a process.
It is. As a guide to rhetoric reminds us, it's iterative. You draft, you reread, you revise, you get feedback, you revise again. Don't expect perfection on the first try.
Give yourself time for that. It's normal.
Totally normal. Embrace the revision process. It's where the essay really gets stronger.
Okay, so wrapping this up, key takeaways. This argumentative essay for Freshman Comp 1, it builds directly on your informative synthesis. You're not starting over.
Right. You need a clear thesis, your claim. You need body paragraphs with supporting points, solid evidence, and explained evidence.
You have to tackle a counter-argument,
Yeah.
show you've considered other sides, and you need to follow the assignment rules, including APA format.
And use that pre-writing sheet and the resources on kelli.ninja. They're designed to guide you.
But beyond just checking the boxes for the assignment.
Yeah, there's a bigger picture here. This isn't just busy work. Learning to build a reasoned argument, to support your ideas with evidence, to engage thoughtfully with opposing views.
These are really valuable skills.
Hugely valuable. Skills you'll use way beyond this class in other courses in your career, just in navigating the world and understanding different perspectives.
So maybe a final thought to chew on. Don't just see this as another essay to get through. Think of it as a chance.
A chance to really dig into a topic you've already spent time with.
Yeah, to find your own voice on it, to sharpen your thinking, and to practice making a case effectively. It's about contributing your perspective to the conversation.
So the question for you is, how can you use this assignment not just to get a grade, but to genuinely develop that skill, to become a more critical thinker and a more persuasive communicator?
That's the real goal. Okay, final reminders. Head to kelli.ninja, read the assignment sheet, the rubric, the tip sheets, all of it.
Use the Writing Center. Ask questions in the work sessions.
You've got the foundation from the synthesis essay. You've got the tools and resources. Now it's time to build that argument.
You can definitely do this.
Absolutely. Good luck.